if you were able to go. Today in reading, we're going to talk about tone and mood. I just wanted to remind you before I share with you the anchor chart that you see on your page that you are to have your biography book picked out by Friday. Whether you've ordered it and you tell me what you've ordered and show that to me, or you have the actual book here. Today we're going to talk about tone and mood, and you're going to use whatever book you're reading today, whether it's your biography book or if you don't have that yet, it's a fictional book, okay? And the tone in a story is the overall author's attitude. What is the author trying to tell you about this story? What do they want you to get out of it? Do they let you know that the overall tone of the story is a sad one? Is it a frustrated one? What are they feeling? Mood is the feeling you get as a reader, and that mood can change in the story. There's many times where you can be reading a story and at one point you feel anger with a character, and then in the next minute you feel happy. On this anchor chart is a list of some feelings that I have felt as a reader when reading. Happiness, disappointment. I get stressed out. I told you I've read the Harry Potter books. When I've read about Harry Potter, I would sometimes get stressed out in his battles. And just ignore my battery popping up there. Determined, faithful, sadness, loneliness. I'm going to skip over a few. Boredom, anger. Dapper means like a performer. Ta-da! Questioning or confusion about a character. So those my feelings can change about a character or the book or the setting. I can get really angry with a character and then I realize that they did something for a reason and I become happy again. Today, while you read and pull up Kid Blog, you are going to get on the Kid Blog and tell me, and um, you may not have finished your entire book, which is fine. But from the point that you're at now, I want you to tell me, um, I want you to be able to tell me what is the mood and tone of your story. So I did Cinderella. You may read my blog entry. Everybody should be familiar with Cinderella. She has a stepmother, two stepsisters. They're not very nice. They don't let her go to the ball, kind of rip up her dress and make her look not so pretty. When she's out in the garden crying, her fairy godmother comes to her, turns her into a beautiful princess with a beautiful ball gown, gives her a coach and coachman. She goes to the ball with glass slippers and is told to stay there till midnight. And when we're returning from the ball at midnight, after dancing with the prince, she loses a glass slipper. And the prince has fallen in love with her and will only marry the girl whose foot fits the glass slipper. And in the end, that slipper fits Cinderella's foot and she marries the prince and they live happily ever after. So I talked to you about the tone. The tone in that story is don't judge a book by its cover. Her stepmother and stepsisters wanted to say because Cinderella was just a maid in their household, she wasn't worth anything. But she had a lot of worth. And don't judge her just by how she looks and what she does. Okay? But my mood, how I felt, changed a lot of times in the story. And you'll see right here I was very angry and frustrated with the stepmother and stepsisters and how they treated Cinderella. I thought it was very unfair. You see this word unfair here when they tore her dress. But I told you that my frustration and anger quickly turned to joy when they created a dress and a coach, and I felt sad when her time ended at the ball and the prince did not know who she was. But I felt happy and refreshed and joyous at the end of the story when they brought her back her glass slipper and she was able to live with the prince and marry the prince. And I said that Cinderella and I were both able to live happily ever after because of the ending of the story. So as you see, my mood changed from happy to sad, frustrated, angry, to happily ever after, and that can change. So today I want you to do a blog entry. I want you to tell me about the tone of your story so far and some moods that you've experienced and what has caused those moods. Don't just write, I was angry when I was reading this book. Well, why were you angry? What made you angry? Usually it's a specific thing in your book. What were you picturing? Maybe the character made you happy, or they laughed, or you cried. I've cried during books. Why did you cry? Why did you laugh? What made you snicker out loud? Tell me about it, okay? So you will need to read your book, get on Kid Blog, and tell me about it. Thanks. Have a wonderful day. Be good for Mr. Cussin.